What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. What's up, Fort Label? Sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry. I am sorry I'm late. I was watching the Nigeria match. Nigeria versus Nigeria versus Morocco match. I can't believe Nigeria lost. But this class is going to be a brief one. I hope the audio is good. This class is going to be a brief one because we are discussing design style and print style. And this is something that is supposed to be visual, but I will just give you guys the theory aspects and you will be able to do more research on your own. But this is the only time that we would have this kind of situation because, like I said, Nigeria was playing and I wanted to watch the match. So that's why. But make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe as well if you've not subscribed already. Make sure you hit the sub button if you've not subbed already. I can't see your chat yet. Let me just. But let me clean this board. I hope the audio, you guys can hear me. Fourth label, as soon as I came live, you just joined the live. It blew my mind. What's good? What's good? If you're here, don't forget to drop a like. So let me go into it real quick without wasting much time. Day 3, we are discussing. Okay. Audio is good, but the audio is not so good. Wait, let me connect my mic. Let me connect the mic. Connect the mic. I don't retire. Sorry about that. I swear, man. I don't even want to remember that Nigerian match, I beg. Super Eagles. Their specialty. If you're here, please don't forget to drop a like. So, today we are discussing print styles. Today we are discussing print styles. Please don't forget to drop a like. This is a way of supporting the stream. So today we are discussing print styles. That's what we are discussing today. Print styles. A lot of people don't know there are different kind of print styles, and that's what we are going to be discussing today. And this would have been better if it was visuals, but trust me, you'll still be able to understand. I'll be discussing different print styles and I'll be telling you the advantages and disadvantages of them. Because funny enough, it's not every kind of print style that can work. Do you understand? So something you can do for embroidery is different from what you can do for, screen prints and all that. So we are going to be discussing that. Here are the different kinds of print styles. Of course, there are more than this list that I'm about to mention, but these are the ones that people usually use. These are the main ones. And like I said, any print style that I show you here tonight, you can go and do more research about it. First is screen prints. Screen prints. The next is DTF. DTF. Next is embroidery. Next is DTG. So I will list these things, then I will start discussing them one by one. Then next is chenille patch. Then embossed. Embossed. Then puff prints. Then finally sublimation. Sublimation. So these are the major. The chart is not connected. These are the major. Please type present in the chat. I can't see you guys chat. Please, if you are in today's class, type present, whether you're watching it after or you're watching it right now. Type present in the chat so that I would be able to see your chat and be sure. Silicone, yes, of course, I cannot list out all the print styles. There are a lot of print styles, but these are the major ones. These are the major ones that they use. These are the ones that are really common. Silicone print is good. I used silicone print last year, but I will tell you something about silicone print. Silicone print it has a high likelihood of breaking or peeling off. It doesn't really last long, in my opinion. It can last, but you know, just take it from me that instead of you using silicone prints, maybe you can use silicone prints if you cannot afford to do like puff print or something, but let's just leave it alone. You can, do more research. Obviously, I cannot cover everything, but these are the major print styles, like I said. So I am going to be telling you the strength and the weaknesses, or the characteristics. Let me just say the characteristics of each print. That's what I'm going to be explaining tonight, because it's not every print that can work for everything. So first and foremost, screen print. Screen print is what we are discussing first. So for screen print works on 100% cotton. It can work on any fabric actually. Screen print works on majority of the types of fabric, whether it's polyester, 100% cotton. Screen print usually works on all of them. Screen print is also long lasting. It can't print complex design. That's the disadvantage of screen prints. It cannot print complex design. The reason why is because screen print is printed in layers. So let's say, for example, the best type of print for screen print is 1 or 2 color design. The reason why is because screen print is manual. So they use a thing called a screen, right? Let me try and show you guys an example. So they use something called a screen. It looks like a canvas, yes. No. So it is manual, that there is no way that even when machine does it, it is still manual. So this is what the screen looks like. This is what the screen looks like right here. And then they push ink through this screen. It's a process that, like I said, if you do more research, you would understand better. But this is the process of screen printing right here. They push ink through the screen. And because it is one by one, they can only do one color at a time. Maximum color of screen print is 6 colors. And that is if you meet a screen print specialist. If you're planning to screen print in Nigeria, please, 1 or 2 color prints, or 1 or 2 color designs, sorry. So if your design has 1 or 2 colors, you can use screen prints. Like this Igberaga Boys FC in front here, you can use screen prints because it is 1 color. But if it is something more complex, like if it is a graphic image, you cannot use screen prints unless you find a screen print specialist, which will even end up costing you more. But the reason why people usually go for screen prints is because screen prints last the longest. In terms of prints, screen prints last the longest. There is no other print style that lasts as long as screen prints, except all these like embroidery, because obviously it's sewn on top of the shirt. But screen prints last really long. Screen print lasts really long because the ink stays on top of the shirt and it becomes one with the shirt. And like I said, maximum of 6 color per design when it comes to screen print, and that is if you meet a screen print specialist. So if you're planning to do screen print for any design, make sure it is 1 or 2 color design. Then the next one is DTF. DTF works also on 100% cotton. It can also work on polyester as well, but its strength is on 100% cotton. Then it is long lasting, but obviously it doesn't last as long as screen print. Then it can print complex design. This is where DTF outshines screen print, because a graphic image, you can print it DTF. Majority of brands, whenever you see a graphic image, even that one that I wore yesterday, the shirt I wore yesterday, it is DTF. So if the design is complex, DTF is the best way to go. It will be able to print it, no stress, right? So I'll go again. DTF works on 100% cotton, but it works on majority of fabrics. Lasts long. It lasts long, but not as long as screen print, and it can print complex design. Then it is also more affordable. This is the easiest type of print. So any print shop can do DTF for you. Any print shop in the world. Majority of manufacturers do DTF. That's the one that in Nigeria, that's the one that is very common to see, right? The next one that we'll be discussing is embroidery. Now, an example of embroidery is this one here, the badge here that you are seeing. So embroidery, or this cap on my head, is true. Thank God I even remember. This cap on my head, this print here is called embroidery because it is embroidered on top of the cap. Do you understand? This on the side here as well is embroidery. So embroidery is a process where the thing is like a sewing machine and it sews the design on top of the fabric. Embroidery works on any kind of fabric. It doesn't really matter. Excuse me. Embroidery works on any kind of fabric. It doesn't really matter, right? It's very versatile. But the problem with embroidery, I did not do the definition of embroidery here. Wow, that's so crazy. The problem with embroidery is that you are limited to what you can do. So a design like this can work for embroidery, but if the design is too small, you cannot do it as embroidery. Or if the design is too big, unless somebody has an industrial embroidery machine, you cannot do an embroidery of a graphic image that is very big. That's why if you notice, people that do embroidery is on cap or something small, because the embroidery machine usually works on something small. It also lasts really long because, like I said, they are sewing the design on top of the shirt. So it becomes also one with the shirt and it will be able to last you years. All right. Then the next one that we'll be discussing, DTG. DTG also works on 100% cotton, but it can work on majority of fabrics as well. It is long lasting, but it doesn't last as long as screen print. It doesn't last as long as the remaining prints. DTG usually lasts 100 washes. And another thing with DTG again is the colors will not be bright. Most times, whenever people come and meet me and they ask me what is the best print to use, I always tell them there is no best print. It depends on your design. So let's say you want, because the thing with DTG and DTF is that DTF, it is a heat transfer sheet. They use heat to press on top of the design. While DTG, they put the design inside, they put the shirts inside a printer and the printer prints directly on top of the shirts. So, you know, like the way you put A4 paper inside printer and the printer will print your document on top of that A4 paper, is basically the same thing. You put the shirt inside the printer and the printer prints your design on top of the shirt. But it has its limitation because the color will not be bright. Compared to DTF, DTF gives it a brighter color than DTG. That's just the way it is. And also, DTG is expensive. DTG is among the most expensive type of print to do because the machine costs a lot to maintain the machine and all that. But if you don't want to feel that papery, because you can even try this experiment at home, take a graphic t-shirt that you have, touch on the graphic, most probably you feel something like papery effect. That is DTF. But if you have a graphic design graphic t-shirt at home and you touch on the shirt but there is no papery effect, it means that is DTG, right? And DTG can also print complex design. There is no kind of design that DTG cannot print. It's just that, like I said, it won't be really bright. The next one that I'll be discussing is chenille patch. So chenille patch is basically like embroidery. It falls under the same bracket as embroidery. The only difference is that chenille patch has a different feel to it. It has like a fuzzy feel to it. Most people use chenille patch for something like cap or for something like baseball jackets. They don't really use chenille patch for shirts. And because it is under the same bracket with embroidery, the advantages and disadvantages or the characteristics that I mentioned about embroidery is the same characteristics about chenille patch. But chenille patch costs more than embroidery because the thread they use is like all this crochet thread, so it's something similar to that. That's why it costs more, right? Then the next one is embossed. Some of you are familiar with embossed. Embossed is also, it feels similar to silicone. The way embossed works is it's like a metal plate. It's not really metal, but it feels like metal. It's a metal plate that they use the metal plate to carve out the design. But embossed is very, very limited. You can only do embossed print for logo. If you notice all those, maybe like Lacoste or something, where it feels like it is the fabric itself that they use to make the logo. I don't know how to explain it. Wait, let me show you a picture, an example. Embossed is very, very limited. It lasts long, but it has an uncomfortable feel to it. It has an uncomfortable feel, and it is only applicable for this thing, for logo. You cannot do any design as embossed. You cannot do any design as embossed. Like, look at, I hope you guys can see this, but look at it. This is embossed. Because of the metal plates that I said, they use it to carve out whatever it is that you want to, if it's your logo or if you want it to be a writing. But most companies or most brands that use embossed, it is for logo. You cannot do graphic image with embossed. You cannot, but it also lasts really long, and it works on 100% cotton. It doesn't work on polyester. It doesn't work on anything else except cotton. Then next one is puff print. Puff print is a different. What's good, Sangora? Welcome to the stream. Please, if you've not liked the stream already, please drop a like. It really supports us. Like, it pushes the stream really far. And also subscribe if you've not subscribed already. We are trying to get to 100k subscribers. And if you need more help, maybe you are stuck in a level with your brand, just DM me on any of my socials, Absa was taken. I'll be able to help you through your difficulty. I've been able to help over 150 brands, and I'm sure I can help you too. So the next one is puff print. Puff print works well on 100% cotton. It has a puff texture to it. It lasts long, but can't print complex design. Puff print also falls under the category of screen prints, because some of these print styles, they have like sub under each category. So puff print goes through the same process with screen print, but it is just that they now use a chemical on the ink that makes the ink swell up. You know, like the way Gary swells up. So puff print swells up, hence the name puff. It is screen print, but they add a different chemical to it that makes it swell up. So the same process with screen print is the same process. It still goes through that screen. It is still manual, right? But puff print doesn't usually last as long as screen print. There are some disadvantages with puff print, like sometimes the puff might end up lessing. I don't know why. But after, like, let's say 2 years, the puff would lose that puff effect and become back to screen print. It's not like the print will break or anything, but it will become flat. How we understand. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Let me show you a this thing of puff print. So you see puff prints. But some of these things, like I said, any print style that I mentioned to you, you can go, like you can just do a quick Google search and you will see it. This is puff print. This is what puff print looks like. Like I said, it is the same thing with screen print, but they just add a chemical that makes it swell up. I hope you guys can understand with that. You can Google all these things to see what the print looks like. What's good, Hood Kings? Welcome to the stream. Please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you've not subscribed already. And present if you are in the class. You guys know I like to keep up with the people that are marking their attendance. Next is sublimation. Sublimation only works on polyester. Sublimation doesn't work on spandex. It doesn't work on it doesn't work on any other fabric, linen, whatever. Sublimation only works on polyester. So 100% polyester, 90% polyester. If you mix any fabric with polyester, but make sure there's polyester. Sublimation is long lasting because they print it like this jersey now. This is polyester. This print here is sublimation. And how it works is the fabric itself, they use, like, I don't know how to explain this. They use something to dye. I don't know if I will call it dye, but the effect is called sublimation, where the print is put on top of the fabric. Like I said, you can go and Google these things to understand better. Me, I'm just giving you, because if I didn't tell you what sublimation is, you won't know what the print is. If I didn't tell you what puff print is, you won't know what it is. But there's only so much I can explain. You need to do your own research more to understand. Sublimation can print complex designs. So no matter how complex your design is, you can print it on sublimation. Sublimation is commonly used on polyester, like I said. And polyester, they mostly use it for jersey. The time they use polyester is for jersey. This is polyester. Nike jersey is polyester. You know, Adidas jersey, any football jersey you see is polyester. Then it can print complex design, but fabric option is limited. When it comes to sublimation, your fabric selection is limited because you can only print it on polyester. And that's going to be it. Do you guys have any questions regarding print styles? I know this class was not a long class, but because we are discussing print styles, plus I had a long day, then I went to watch Nigeria match and I bet money on Nigeria match and Nigeria lost. So that's sad. You cannot depend on your country. So if you have any questions concerning this, let me know. If you don't, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, man. It really helps the channel out. You guys know that this is a series that I'm doing. I'm trying to put you on. If you are having difficulties with your brand, send me a DM so that I can help you out. Or if you've not even started your brand and you want to start a clothing brand, once you DM me Absa Academy on any of my socials is Absa Was Taken. I'll give you all the manufacturers you need. I'll give you tools and resources. I'll also give you videos that are exclusive to Absa Academy students that explain in-depth different aspects of you running your brand, from accounting to marketing on social media to investor agreements. Everything would be available to you once you join Absa Academy. I don't see any questions, so I'm guessing nobody has questions. I know I'm late, so most probably you'll be watching this tomorrow. Just make sure you watch it. It's very insightful, especially if you want to know more about print styles, because you don't just need to be doing DTF all the time. If you know the print styles and the available options, you will be able to work with them effectively. These are the print styles. You can go and do a little bit of research on your own. But me, what I like to use for my logo, I like to use puff prints, or I like to use embroidery. When I'm doing my logo on top of the shirt, like this one now is embroidery as well, but this is embroidery badge. So it still falls under the embroidery family, just like the Shina patch. So embroidery as well. When it comes to my logo, I like to do embroidery or puff prints. Then when it comes to my design, I either do DTF or DTG. Some designs, let's say the Friends in High Places, I use puff prints and I use screen prints because it is one color design. It was just writing. So that one, can be done as screen prints, while the protected by Nita collaboration was DTG. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for showing up to today's class. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. Don't forget, I'm Abdrazak Sani, and we are building the most impactful brand in the world. Wait, before I do my outro, tomorrow we are going to be discussing an important topic, which is producing in-house or outsourcing production. This year, I am planning on buying a heat press so that I'll be able to produce in-house. If you're interested in learning more about producing in-house or outsourcing production, make sure you join us tomorrow. Don't forget, I'm Abdrazak Sani, and we are building the most impactful brand in the world. Good night.